All right, so the truth of the matter is I wasn't even live because I had to hit live. How you doing, folks? Uh, who else is hungry for a shit sandwich? Because we certainly have been served one. Have you guys used Hello Vaping with Nikki B? How are you, babe? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I'm literally testing this out. I know I'm much too early. I figure, people swing in, people swing in. If they don't, I'll just be sitting here rambling. Hey, Susan, how are you? Not me today. Does that mean you're not ready for a shit sandwich? Because that's all that's I can't do anything about it, but that's all that's on the menu. Why is that gray line at the bottom? Yeah, so yeah, I was. Oh, you had a fucked up day too. Yeah, it's 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 going around, Susan. It is actually going around. Wow, and vaping. When Nikki B had a shit week. I'm sorry to hear that, folks. I really am sorry to hear that. I was in such a good mood earlier this week, and this whole it's terms of use. Why they call it terms of service, I don't know. But that's nitpicking. What I do know is that yet again, that I don't want more shit on my plate. I don't either. And I really didn't want this to be an issue. Even though I knew, we all knew that it was all going to hell in a handbasket, and it's still going that route. Would you stop talking to me, you stupid live stream studio? I don't care. I know. Sorry. I have a problem with this new interface. Anyone else using this? What do they call it now? Because it keeps telling me it's going away, or it told me it's going away, and then boom, went away. Gave me the option of going back to classic. Well, classic didn't work. Took me right back into this silly live control room, and this live control room sucks balls. It's. I see where they were going with that, but and I got to admit I do like some of it, but it's nice to see the concurrent users. I'm just going to wax poetic for the next 20 25 minutes until I'm sure the notifications maybe the notifications went out. I don't know. We never know. You use Zoom or StreamYard? Yeah, I'm kind of in the Zoom camp. The StreamYards is nice, but it's awfully limiting as far as I can tell. And I've got everything that most people use StreamYards for, and that would be, of course, the why is that doing it? Oh, okay. Most people use StreamYards because it's got that built-in functionality that they don't normally have, say with an OBS. But with vMix and the way I've got it set up, I've got all that functionality. Plus, it has functionality as well. Like when I could throw chats on the screen. I don't because I'm normally got my lower third on there. And by the way, if you guys wanted to call in early and chat, you're more than welcome to. It's right there in the description box. This is a totally informal stream. In fact, the entire evening is just going to be informal. I'm just, you guys want to come on and talk about this shit sandwich that we're all eating, then you're more than welcome to. Hey, Patty, how are you? Yes, it is. It is like a pre-game show, Patty. It absolutely is. Good to see you, by the way. I'm trying to learn this live control room, and I know it sounds like it would be easy, but already it's tripped me up. I talked for 5 minutes before I realized that now I've got to hit go live. Didn't have to do that before with the setup I was using, but I just Totally didn't. Susan, you're so. Oh, you were notified. Oh, that's good. That's good. And you're so smart not to, I think. In retrospect, sometimes in retrospect, especially with what they're doing now. I mean, it's just freaking crazy. And most people will lay this at the government's feet. Well, I for one don't, and I'll probably be repeating most of what I say right now. I don't necessarily put it at the government's feet, and I'll tell you why. Because anybody with two brain cells to rub together knows that the government does nothing better than the private sector, and they they're a huge, vast wasteland of inefficiency, complete and utter inefficiency, and incompetence and bureaucracy. I'm not an anarchist, of course. I do believe that there is a legitimate function for government, but of course ours has exceeded that. A millennia ago, millennia, not a millennia, at least a century, and and we're left with this sort of crap. So what happens is, um, you get a new technology in that nobody understands, and when I mean nobody understands, I mean all the politicians, most parents, it's most pundits, and it's a recipe for disaster. You get big tech that nobody understands. They start doing stupid shit, which YouTube, same shit, different day, exactly. Um, but the big tech, technical companies do shit that they shouldn't be doing, and then those same people that don't know anything about it start crying to the government to protect them. And then we get left with government stepping in into things that they don't understand. All of this is in good intentions, with good intentions. But as we know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and this is exactly what we're looking at here. let me run over some of these in the chat. Betty says I had to change so many video settings because I used kid-friendly props and such. I can't change it or chance it. I really do not like that I can't communicate with my viewers on those videos. Patty, you're absolutely right. The worst part about that is there's no definition of what they've categorized as poems, songs, content, celebrities, um, you name it, that might appeal to children. Now, what the hell does that mean? How do you categorize any? Look, this mouse, it's a pretty red. It will appeal to children because I'm showing this. Does that now mean that I violated the Child Online um, Privacy and Protection Act? Who knows? Who knows? They won't tell us. They're so vague, and I mean they're just as vague as the YouTube terms. They're just as vague um, as the community guidelines. Yeah, early Drone Kings, and not by choice necessarily. I was doing some research. I got buried in research. I got pissed off in research, and I thought, you know what? I got to learn this live control room, which I hate because it won't allow me to. They say events are going away now, and that may or may not be true. Hopefully, you guys know. But I couldn't find anywhere where it says, oh no, events will just be handled differently now. Well, events are my bread and butter, right? I like to give folks some heads up what I'm going to talk about. You take away events, and you've just literally kicked me out. Literally kicked me out. Let's see. Just blur the mouse out and hitting. Yeah, like I'm going to do that. I get it was a joke, Drone, but that's the thing. Uh, You could look at Raven coming on. Raven, commenter. How you doing, Raven? By the way, when she comes on and has those stuffed dolls, now I appeal to children, and you can say, the delineator that they're asking everyone to do. I said, no, I never upload content for kids. Well, does that mean, and this is where it gets unbelievably murky, does that mean, even if I've declared none of my stuff is for children under 13, know that it could be interpreted as though it is for children. And that's what's got me to the end of my rope here. I can't believe I can't believe the fines that they can levy against you per video for violation. And what constitutes violation? Is it that it's so murky? I said, if you guys know, I was unable. Here's the thing: I was unable to find out what constitutes a violation, and I was also unable to find out whether or not declaring whether or not you produce content for kids, whether it's overall or per video, protects you from such. See, now Above and Beyond Drone says his email says 18. See, that's the problem, folks. That is exactly what we're up against: misinformation, and vague regulations. Getting back to what I was saying, since I got 10 minutes before the show starts. YouTube is as much at fault as the government is, which is why they lost the lawsuit or the judgment. They had the judgment against them that the FTC levied. FTC, I'm sorry. Because they hadn't been doing shit right. I did the same thing, Raven. I did the same thing. I said every one of my, well, not my other channels. I still have to do that. I may just strip all my other channels, hoping that this one survives. Its name is Ethel. Well, Jim, you say 18. This is Jim from Above and Beyond Drones. This is only for YouTube tonight, by the way. This is just us. Just us. Not that finding an alternative isn't a viable road to explore. Even though the FTC says this is the first thing that they're going for. They're going for YouTube, and they want to. And then they want everyone to know that they're aware that others are in the same playing field. Yeah, I'll even put those out. I planned on doing a whole bunch of stuff, but the deeper I got into it, the more futile it seemed, because there are no good answers right now. So this is what I was talking about earlier. This is from Daryl Eves. He had a great video on it that I was watching not too long ago. Not too long ago. I actually watched it twice. Okay. Excuse me. I'm just gonna put this right over my face, and we'll talk about this more as the night goes on. But I will just put this right over my face, if you guys don't mind. Yeah. So I can do anything I want to. I got 8 minutes before the show starts. Oh man. So you guys just bear with me here. All right. So what they want you to know is that there are, when you're asking yourself, is my content made for kids? Well, right over my face, because I didn't plan too much for this. Factors you need to consider. Let me expand that a little bit. Make it bigger over this This ugly mug, how's that? Show hadn't started yet, so I can be as sloppy as I want to. There we go. We'll try that. I'll drag it over in the center here. Okay. All right, so is your content made for kids? Factors to consider. One is the subject matter of the video. Number two would be, if children are the intended audience, then you are a content creator for kids. If it includes child actors or models, help me define that one. If it includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children. You saw what I just held up a minute ago. It's not a toy. But who's going to make that determination? If it uses language that is meant for children to understand. Someone want to help me figure out what that means? If I say green eggs and ham, does that mean that that I've used language that is meant for children to understand? If it includes activities that appeal to children, think of the gal who went total viral, that lives in the van. She blows on a kazoo all the time in her videos. Is that an activity that appeals to children? Will she be liable? And finally, if it includes songs, stories, or poems that appeal to children, what? So, appeals to children. How ambiguous is that? That's what's got me all. That's what's got my feathers ruffled for the most part. Now, what they say is that you're going to lose functionality. You won't have a community tab. You won't be able to run personalized ads. The worst part about this is, from what I gathered, there was a someone who used to practice law by the name of, what's his name? J House Law, but he was recommended by Daryl Eves, who has actually been talking to YouTube and the FTC, and he agrees it's a shit show. Let me drop this link in the chat. You guys need to go check this out after the show or during the show. It's fine. But that's a lawyer that this is everything you need to know about the COPPA. Daryl Eves' video. Let me see. I've got that as a link as well. And I'll probably, oops, shit. Son of a bitch. Come on. The only thing I can think of to completely protect yourself, and even this, because remember, this is retroactive as well. They will go back through your library, as I understand it. And let me know if you've got a source that tells me I'm wrong. Now, that second one was the Daryl Eves, $42,530 fine per video from the FTC. If they can determine that you are in violation. Well, Susan, that's a good point. Even parents can't control what they watch. We all know parents that hand their children their phones, hand them iPads, and just completely and utterly too much room, Jim, to interpret. And let me be really clear. They don't even have to identify as a child. If by the sheer percentage of people that are watching your videos happen to be thought to be underage, you can still be seen as in violation of the regulation. Yes, they said all videos, past and present. I have almost 500 videos out there. Been doing this for almost a year now. 500. Can you imagine? I know not all of them would be considered child But you never know. I mean, this is open to interpretation. This is something that we don't have any real control over. There are no set, guidelines. It's like, no, you can't use Legos. No, you just can't use toys. Well, that just means that they can come for you no matter what. And you don't want to be the example. But anyway, what I was saying was, I think the only thing, well, I know YouTube is protecting itself, but I would say that it's the government regulations are the ones that are that is actually, that I believe that is in COPPA, those items that I had up there. It's in the regulation. Regulation's been out there since 1998, and what it was designed to do is to protect the privacy of children. So predators and that sort of thing. Totally get that. It was changed again in 2013 to have the addition was new definitions, and that's where it got hideous. And of course, like anything else government did, it took 6 years to say, oh wait, or actually not 6, but looks like YouTube's been violating. They're the big player in the field. Let's make an example of them. And you know what's coming next. I guarantee you what's coming next. There's going to be a creator, 2 or 3, or a group that are going to be made an example of as individual creators, because they will come after the creators as well. This is not between the FTC and the government alone, or FTC and YouTube alone. This includes creators. That's you and me for the most part. I'm talking to 90%, 98% of my fellow creators here, and that's you and I. If we're found to be in non-compliance, it could have dire consequences. Hello, The Shape. How you doing, man? I should say hello to a whole bunch more people. I'm sorry, folks. I've been remiss. Brandon Jackson, good to see you. Patty already said hello, but always good to see you as well. Not a Great Gamer, thanks for being here. Turkey Leg TV, good to see you, my friend. I know I've missed so many. Tazzy Adventures, good to see you, man. It's been a while since I've seen you on one of my streams. Michael Riley, good to see you again. Always a pleasure to have you. 9XXYI, how you doing? Had to do that with all my videos to the gym switch them all over to not kid friendly. Well, that's the thing. They're asking us to declare whether or not we produce videos that are targeted at children. But I don't think that protects us at all. That's merely a declaration. Think, for instance, if you were the owner of Baby Shark, and you clicked, I never upload or live stream content for kids, and then you just continually threw out those Baby Shark videos, would they come after you? Bet they would. Well, what that means is that they can come after us individually as well, even if we've made that declaration. That declaration is kind of empty, as far as I'm concerned. Now, my whole thing was, and I see you in there, Easton. I'm going to get to you because I really got to talk to you, especially a young person like you. I think it's very important that we have a quick discussion, because I can only think of 2 fixes for this. But let me say, keep going. Hello, Sean Vlogs, how you doing? I think you're brand new to the show. Welcome to the show. I appreciate you being here. Of course, I've said hello to Vaping with Dinky B. Good to see you as well, as always. And Susan Hamilton, love to have you here. I hope I haven't missed anyone. And thanks, guys, for being here. Thanks so much for being here. I'm sorry I haven't. I mean, the phone lines are open. I didn't mean to. I mean, here we are at 10 o'clock. So hey, the show has started, but it started much before that. For those of you who walked in late, what I was trying to do was trying to work with this stupid live control room, the new one, because it looks to me like they are eliminating events. Because every time I try to edit one of my events, it throws me in here and it asks me to create a new one, and then I can go back but it's clunky. So maybe they're not. I hope not. Ganna, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, look, a squirrel. I love that. I love that name. Welcome to the show. I don't believe I've seen you here before, but it's a pleasure having you. Um, that is a great name for for somebody to sit in the chat. Crap, my dad makes me watch. Adam, always good to see you, my friend. Nugget Brain Peterson, missed you again. Did I miss you, or did the notification miss you? Jesse Mendez, how you doing, my brother? Let's see. I hope I haven't missed anybody. So here we are at 10 o'clock, and you may be wondering why I'm just sitting back. Tonight's green screen. You guys can't. Well, yeah, you can see the shadow. The idea was I was literally going to go over several of these, and I lost my I literally lost my desire to do so. Here we are looking at the policies and say this is the community guidelines, and the reason I wanted to go here was a couple. We've all read these. I want you to pay particular attention to hateful content, and this is indicative of the world we live in today, and what we're dealing with now is these ambiguous and these open-ended restrictions. This is our products or platforms for free expression. But we don't support content that promotes or condones violence against individuals or groups based on race, ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, nationality, veteran status, or sexual orientation / gender identity, or whose primary purpose is inciting hatred on the basis of these core characteristics. This can be a delicate balancing act, but if the primary purpose is to attack or protect a group, the content crosses the line. Now, that sounds like today. That sounds like that it's trying to be, it's trying to protect people. Problem is, it's so ambiguously written and subjectively applied. It literally means nothing. It means that you could be scraped at any time. So, or I should say, strafed. So yeah, I was going to go over those. I was going to go over the actual the actual terms of service. I need to move myself here. Hang on just a second. It's one of those shows, so I get to do that. Let's see. Yes. I am so not ignoring you, Easton. You guys can come up and talk about this if you'd like to. What is that, Jersh's metal detecting? How are you? Good to see you, man. Scott Donnelly, hey, good to see you, bud. Let's see, multi-view. Position, me. Whoops, no, shit. Hate when I do that. There we go. Let's move me all the way over the other side. That'll work. Okay, so yeah, the idea I was going to go through. The terms of service. They call them service. I want to find that one line that everybody's freaking out about, because I think it's got some long-reaching. I was just reading it today. I just can't even think. I'm so pissed off and dejected. Maybe I'll tell you what. I'll look for it as the show goes along, and we'll get to it. So let's say I put all this anger behind me for now, and call up my first guest. I've got two in the wings, and I've got an announcement that I'm going to make during the show. That we'll just wait for him to get his mic set up, and I'll.
Hello there.
Hello, how are you, man?
Well, I'm okay. But I don't even care about YouTube's rules at this point. I was like, whatever. I'm just gonna go with the flow, and if I get kicked off, I don't care.
Well, we have that luxury at this point. Well, I feel really bad for those people who make their living on YouTube. They're just going to be out.
Oh, totally. The thing is, So, like I don't make content directed towards kids, younger ones, but it's just kind of a broad kind of thing. You know, anybody who wants to watch a idiot try to track music, I guess you can watch my channel.
Was that a
That's
shameless plug during this time of? I'm just kidding.
you can know I'm shameless plugging. I always am. But anyway, but yeah, the thing is though is that what I want to do with my channel, where I want to take it, is something that is not gonna really be possible at this point, because I want to get into writing some kind of like children's Bible songs, because I have what is he, my cousin or something? I have no clue. Somebody in my family who's like one, and I think he's my cousin, but I really don't know. And so I actually started working on that. I had a side channel, but it's not really doing anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of starting a project like that for him, and yeah, YouTube's not wanting me to do that, so I don't care. So yeah.
Well, the fact that you're having to throttle back and change stuff and forget ideas you had, that in and of itself is unbelievably depressing for me.
Yeah.
Because watching
Be
the creative
Sorry.
creative spirit be crushed is just just horrible. But go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Be careful, Jim. You said depressing. That's against their terms of service now, because that's against the rules. You can't say that word.
You know what I need to do is I need to read that whole damn list on this show.
Yeah,
and then flip them the bird. Hopefully none of my community is watching. I'll just flip them the bird and say, see ya. Because they're not gonna fine you for those words, but they will surely demonetize, throttle you on the searches, keep you off the recommended pages.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Which is it's the censorship community or society that we're cultivating here, and it's at our peril,
Yeah. See, the thing is, I'm not really scared of it, because I have a Christian channel, and whatever happens is God's will. So, like, I mean, if I get kicked off YouTube, and God doesn't want me kicked off YouTube, He'll just break their whole server system, and I am not going to be kicked off.
Oh no! Wait a minute, though. You see how that works, right? If He breaks their entire server system, you'll kind of still be off YouTube.
Wrong word choice. Wrong. He'll just break whatever computer's trying to delete me.
He'll let you slide on all the regs.
That's what he wants. But I'm just joking. I'm just trying to make humor out of that. But yeah,
I hear you.
Dude, I have great news, because I don't want to complain the entire night. So I'm going to be complaining a little bit.
Oh, well, you tell us great news now, because I've probably got some really bad news for you before I let you go.
Oh, fun.
Well, I want you to be prepared for it. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's bad news.
Oh,
Go ahead.
great.
Go ahead. No. Tell me. You want to save the good news for afterwards, so we can at least leave on a high note?
Sure.
Okay. I'll tell you what this is going to do, and I don't know if it's true for everyone, but I've been seriously considering it, and that's age restricting my my content. That leaves you and several of my my listener base, my watcher base, out in the cold.
Yeah.
But it's the only way I see getting around any appealing to kids at all. I mean, if they're getting in when it's age restricted, that is entirely not the fault of the creator nor of YouTube. But I fear for you guys, because you're going to miss out on a lot of content, because I bet you anything, many creators are going to go down that same road.
Yeah.
And you'll have to wait till you're 18. Which blows chow. Most of the content, well, they kill content that I think is just fine for under 13s, but subjectively they don't. So you're already missing out on a lot of content that gets throttled back. But now, because of the government and YouTube, you're going to miss a lot of good content that you should never have. Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you
Is it
thought about that, but
no? Well, see, my two favorite channels, they better not touch. They better like. I understand if you have to put it on age restriction, but if because of these, I'm sorry if I get people mad at you for this, but if these idiots, um, get me from where I can't watch your show and Jason's live streams. Oh man, you're not gonna want to be on my channel for a couple days because I can trust you. You can trust me. It's not going to be very pretty because there's going to be a nice video going up.
well, you didn't tick off anybody here. That's a completely.
I'm not talking. Sorry.
Oh, that's no, or you, and don't worry about YouTube and me.
I'm not. Yeah, that's what I was.
We're already on the outside. I don't know if you saw my video on my search engine placement. That I've been monitoring for nearly a year now. The keyword phrase "call in show."
Yeah.
I can't tell you how long I've been languishing around the number 200. I've got 500 videos out there. Every single one of them are optimized for that term. And I've got more than a dozen in that 200 above me that are not even about call-in show, not even close to it. So they're already screwed up. That was a tangent, but sorry.
I wonder because I've been thinking about this strongly too. I've been trying to stick to my guns because everybody's like, I'm leaving YouTube, and I didn't want to get in all that drama. But I was just like, as this has been progressing with this whole new crap that's going on, just like this is starting to get a little risky.
Yep.
Because I'm a minor creating content. And
it's going to be toughest for you guys.
I'm tempted. I don't want to do this, but I'm wanting to see if I want to build up. I'm trying to figure out how to build up my other social media platforms. Just one of them to where I can send everybody over there because it's not been working. I've been trying this for months. It's not working. I can't get anybody just to go to Instagram or just to Facebook or just kind of spread out to where I can be off YouTube. And then I'll just seize my YouTube account until I'm 18. I want to do that. I just can't get people to move.
It's tough to do. I mean, we all know that this is where the audience is at.
Totally.
And really, that's the only reason I'm here. This is the only reason many people are here. And there's nothing wrong with that because most of the audience have nothing to do with the YouTube rules and regs, the way they administer them, or anything like that, or even the government regs for that matter. We just know that there are people here, people that might like our content. Florida Jim, how you doing, by the way? In the woods with Wolf, good to see you. But digging with Deej, how you doing? But getting away from it is unbelievably difficult because of that.
Yeah.
And I guess there's nothing wrong with that, but
see, this is what these. So I think this is what's really causing the problem with people wanting to delete, get rid of. I think they're trying to force kids off YouTube because of idiot. I don't think it's necessarily all YouTube's fault or all the government's fault or whoever we are blaming now for all this crap. I think a whole lot of it because this whole minors can't stream thing that happened a couple months ago that I don't know if it's true or not. To this day, I still don't know if it's true or not because I heard that it was accidentally posted on a blog by some idiot who didn't know what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mainly caused because of idiot freaking pedophiles who are stalking kids on the internet. I think that's a lot of the reason why they're starting to push minors off YouTube.
I would agree with that in part. What I would say to that, though, is that this is a human problem where when we have bad elements in society, we tend to overreact, and what we end up doing is we end up punishing the vast majority of people because of the actions of a few.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens here. Rather than go to the source, and this is true in so many issues, and I don't want to get into it because that will get political. But That is true in so many instances, and exactly the same thing here, right? We're trying to protect the children. Well, they've gone overboard in doing so, and now everyone else is collateral damage or potential
Uh,
collateral damage.
the
So,
best way that they can, I mean, I know this would be complicated and expensive, but they need to find some way to where they can go in and make it harder for hackers to get, or however the heck they're spying on these people, make it harder for them to get in doing whatever the heck they're doing, because I don't know what the heck they're doing. I don't pay attention to them. Whatever they're doing, they need to make it harder for them to do it. I guess that's what they're doing.
well,
But I think, in my opinion, they're doing it the wrong way.
oh, I agree. They're trying to throw a blanket when precision firepower is needed. Um, I would say that what they need to do, and Patty just said, what she just say? It was pretty important. I wanted to just check. 18 plus channels can't be monetized. Are you effing kidding me? Pixelpia, how you doing, by the way? Ms. Kathy, how you doing? Arthur Moorhead, good to see you. Where was I?
See, the thing is, I don't care about the money, honestly.
For me, it's not about the money. That.
Yeah. See, I am not even close to the statistics necessary for monetization. But I mean, ever since they've raised that rule, I've been kind of back and forth. When I get there, do I want to monetize, or do I just not want to even put up with it? Because the thing is I would rather go through Patreon. I mean, I know you hate Patreon, but I mean,
no, Subscribestar, man, Subscribestar.
I plan on doing Subscribestar and Patreon, and just kind of do two different options, with two different things on them. And then like PayPal and all that stuff once I'm old enough, because I found out you can't have PayPal till you're 18.
Yeah.
I was looking at it on the internet the other day. I was like, oh shoot. Figured out some way though to try to. I want to, when I start releasing music next year, fingers crossed next year, then I can hopefully start earning money from that. But I don't need to make a crap ton. I just need to make my $20 back that I'm putting into DistroKid.
Sure. Well, listen. Do me a favor, Easton. End this on a high note, man. I'll bring up my next guest. And
all right.
You said you had some good news.
So I'm gonna actually start the high note with a low note. So the Yeti that I bought, it just totally died. Actually, the day that I came on with my Kindle and I was back to crappy visual and audio was the day that my Yeti died.
Yeah, you told us that last time, I believe. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. No,
something about it miraculously falling off the desk.
Oh yeah, I told you. Okay. Anyway, got a new microphone.
Oh, cool.
And I'm really excited. So I'm actually using it right now. It is the Samson. I gotta turn on my flashlight.
Is it the same one that Sammy's got?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay.
It is the Samson G-Track Let me try that again. I can't talk. Samson G-Track Pro Studio Mic.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And it is awesome. It's a, put in quotation marks since I don't have a camera on right now. It is a USB mic, although it is not. I don't know what kind of USB it is. It is literally a square, not a little thin rectangle. It is a square.
Interesting.
I don't know what the heck it is, but it's much more durable, so I like it.
Cool. Very cool. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You do sound better, honestly.
I love this thing so much. It's so much better than that Yeti. And I mean, the thing is on the box. On the box, the first thing it lists out of the three things is studio recording, music.
Nice.
And then it was literally, it was the three things that it was best for in sequential order. I guess that's the right word. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Studio recording was the first thing. Podcast, streaming / gaming. That was the three things that in sequential order and I was like, this is perfect.
Well, awesome, dude. I'm glad to hear you finally found one.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't snap in half like the other one.
Well,
if it does, I have to. If it does snap in half, I have insurance on this one. So.
Oh, good. All right, buddy. Well, I hope for your sake it doesn't go down the road I just laid out for you. But I would expect it. That way you're not disappointed. Right. But I'm glad to hear from your side too. So Thanks a lot for coming on and
Thanks for having me.
oh, you bet, man.
Have
Take
a great
care
evening.
now.
See you later.
See ya. All right, so there was a lot of good things said in the chat while I was talking with Easton. Outdoorsy gal, how you doing? Good to see you, Christy. Says another live stream tonight asked everyone to protect themselves, make a change on their settings to change it to not suitable for kids or something like that. And I think what you mean is I never upload content that is directed at children. It's not the exact verbiage, but that's what it is. And if you guys don't create content directed at children, then I implore you to at least choose that. I don't see it as a protection. It's merely a declaration that you're making. That doesn't mean that your video content won't be interpreted as content created for kids. Imagine some goofball coming on. Remember, I mentioned the kazoo earlier, and I don't know if it was pre-show or what, but imagine somebody coming on and doing an entire video of nothing but a song done on a kazoo. Now, I don't know about you, but that could be interpreted as something that appeals to children. I know I'm using the air quotes, sorry. And then it won't matter what you've declared. If you've declared that you don't upload ever music, content that's directed at children, it could still be interpreted that way. And believe me, the FTC is looking for an example. So the idea there is not to be the example. Well, what does that mean? That means our creativity is stifled. We've got coming up next, Gana. She draws live, and her videos are just so darn sweet. And yes, sometimes there are boobs or burning toasters, but that's content that someone could interpret. Someone with the power to bring a hammer down could interpret that as content created for a child. If she declares that she doesn't upload for children, that doesn't mean that you don't upload for children. That's just a statement that you don't. Hey, Blood X, how you doing? Good to see you, Mark. And Crap My Dad Makes Me Watch said, we're all taking a risk. And Adam, you could not be more correct. And that's what's got me boiling right now. Before I was just looking at that sentence in the terms of service that was, YouTube reserves the right to, and I don't have it called up yet, but reserves the right to eliminate your channel if you are not commercially viable. Well, define commercially viable. Does that mean that you're not making any money for them? Does that mean that you're not keeping people on the platform? Does that mean, that someone's going to determine subjectively that your content is crap? Is that based on your analytics? Is that based on a subjective opinion? See, these are the things that make this unbelievably difficult and frustrating, is not having rock solid definitions. It's what I've said from day one. The reason I'm not going to monetize is because I can't get your shit together, and I'm not going to depend on this as my sole source of income when the rules are not etched in stone. Ed, does that mean that flashing your pans in the house? AKX Explorations, how you doing? Good to see you. I see a whole bunch of hey Eds. Hey, Germany Travel Personal Guide. How you doing, Darian? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. All right, let's bring up Gana. I'm interested to hear her take on that. Wait for her to get her microphone raring to go there. Oh, you look so nice tonight. Not that you don't look nice whenever you're on the show. I won't take you live until you have your mic raring to go.
Sorry.
No need to apologize. No need to apologize at all.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
that sounded like a bit apprehensive there. I need to fix this. I haven't worked with this interface for a while. So, so what do you think, Yana? Are we screwed here or what?
I feel like I'm a target. I
Did-
mean, my
Did you hear what I was
content
just saying about yours?
is very, yeah, I definitely feel like I'm on that list of people that might be hit, and I don't know what I can do about it. This is what I do,
Yeah.
you know. I don't make content directed for children, but I'm also, I try to stay aware that kids may watch my videos.
Hmm.
So I'm not overly adult. I try not to curse, but I'm not.
That never works for me. Yeah, but that's what I was saying before you came on. It's like, who's going to make that determination?
Right.
And without knowing that or what that determination even is, it makes it nearly impossible for channels like you and I would say to a certain extent me. Remember I was talking about Raven coming on with puppets, which I would say in no way was child content. Somebody could
Right.
look at that and say, hey, that looks like it's directed at kids. Oh, great. That'll be $42,000 for me. FTC. They need the money, I guess. So
It's
gosh,
insane. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If YouTube would like me to make kid-friendly content, they can pay me, and I will gladly make kid-friendly content. You know,
you want to know the
but
kicker?
that's not why I'm on this platform.
Right. You want to know the kicker there? You lose a lot of if you're creating content specifically for kids, you lose personalized ads right off the bat. You've
Yeah.
got no community tab, and there are several other restrictions placed on your channel that makes it
Right.
well, it makes it almost impossible to make money doing that.
That's why you rely on selling action figures, posters, lunchboxes.
Yes, diversify is what you're saying, and I've said that since the beginning as well.
Of course, that's the only way to do it here.
It is. It is. Uh, yeah, but I don't worry
I
about that.
think
Go ahead.
kids need to stay off. They need to stay off of the platform. Like there's that woman, she just died recently. The one that was abusing her kids and forcing them to make YouTube videos for profit. That
Oh,
shouldn't
yes.
be allowed. I want to make a video about that. Does that have anything to do with any of my other content? No, but that's what I like to share. I've covered her before. I did a whole video on just her and the scandal.
Hmm.
They need to stay off the platform, just altogether.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've often wondered why they don't age restrict it, anyway, like when you first come on. And I may not know this because, I've been an adult every bit of YouTube's existence. But if I go to buy e-juice, and you probably know some of this too, online, I immediately have to confirm that I'm over 18.
Yeah.
Do they do that? And if you don't know, I'd look for folks in the chat. Do they do that for your kids on like brand new accounts? Because I just don't have any recollection of that happening.
I've gone incognito and went to channels that were age restricted, and it does come up that this is age restricted. Are you 18 or older?
Well,
So
the
that
age,
is something that does come up.
I know it does for the age restriction. I'm wondering about like for the 13, because you're not supposed to be using YouTube at all unless you're above 13.
Right.
Or using YouTube Kids, which is an app that parents are free to download and use. But if you're on YouTube, I don't think you're supposed to be under age 13. Honestly,
No, and I don't think kids should be on there under that age
right? But I don't
or
think,
unsupervised. And
yeah.
it's no.
But boy, that happens all the time, as we well know. But I wonder if there is a gosh, it's been so long since the first time I ever logged into YouTube, from scratch. I just wonder if there's actually one of those age restriction warnings when you first jump in. I'd have to start on a clean computer and see if that worked. But
Interesting.
yeah, because it should. I think. I mean, if nothing else.
It should. I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to start a new channel just to find out.
I know, right? I know. But I worry about all of our content, though. All of our content. Think about how ambiguous those rules would apply to like crap my dad makes me watch.
Yep.
Adam, you've got it rough, man. I mean, at least I get to cuss on mine and have adults on and whatnot. But Adam, his kids are on. It's not necessarily directed to kids. What do you choose at that point?
You might have to change your channel's direction. Yeah. I was just, I started following a couple of animators today that I just found, and they're amazing, but they're all adult cartoons. Not inappropriate, but they swear.
Could you name some?
Graphic.
Because I love those.
Zeek, Z-E-E-K.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Oh.
I'm a big fan of Jaden Animations and Odd Ones Out.
If I jump out of the stream, I'll put it in chat so I can share it with everybody because it's hilarious.
Okay.
But he just reached 100,000 subscribers, and he's been demonetized because of the cartoon portion of it.
Man, see?
And I was like, oh, ouch.
Crap my dad makes me watch says it's terrible. We chose not for kids. Yeah. But even then, guys, tell me in the chat. And I don't mean to break away from you, Gana, but because I don't know that I asked this question directly. What do you think of when I say that it doesn't necessarily protect you? It's just a declaration. What do you think? Do you think I'm on base there?
Yeah.
I think they come after you like that animation channel, right?
Yeah, and I mean, not all of my content is kid friendly. I do have some cartoons that might appeal to children. I am definitely a target.
Yeah.
I use little animated figures in all of my videos. No matter what my topic is, that's just part of my channel's persona.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It looks like you're gonna have to make more sausage hole videos.
That's absolutely. That has been a hot topic all around. My son was like whispering sausages this morning, and I'm like, oh, stop. It's too early.
Oh, I hear that.
Sausage.
Oh, Miss Kathy says she's not concerned with any of this. Not sure why so many are.
Well, I feel like I'm definitely a target. I'm not monetized, but I may not ever be at this point.
Yeah.
With the direction that I'm heading. It's a real possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody buy my merch. Just kidding, I don't have any.
I'm so shocked by that. You need to set up a merch store ASAP. You've got plenty of material, right?
God. Damn it, Jim! I forgot to use my coffee cup. I can't.
That's okay.
Promote you.
That just means you got to come back on.
Sorry. Absolutely, with my cup. Oh.
So
maybe I'll make my own cup.
Oh, there you go. Oh, and JD Tremaine just outlined it for you, Kathy. They can do whatever they want to, and that's why everyone's freaking out about this. Is because it's the regulations are so vague, so open-ended. They're actually just making you declare whether or not you're creating child content, but that in no means says that they won't interpret it as child targeted content. That's why everybody's freaking out about it. I wasn't freaking out about it either until I started looking at it deeper. I was thinking, I don't do nothing for the kids on this channel, and I was thinking, no big deals. Then I got to thinking about the kazoo, the puppets, things like that. Well, thank you, Explosive
Yeah, what if
Phoenix.
I had little animations on the side of me right now, and that would possibly make you a target
I know. Have you seen those streams where the guys
just
have
because
like?
I had my own animation?
Hmm. Have you seen the chats where somebody's got the there have been a whole, or not chats, but streams where people have like the chats going on with little characters floating at the bottom of the screen? Tell me that wouldn't appeal to
Yeah,
kids.
when I use my Streamlabs stream, I have little emotes that pop up, little cats and coffee cups that are cute, and that's what I like. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
I like cartoons. I'm sorry.
Oh, and I do too. I'm an adult, and I'm a much older adult, and I still I still like cartoons. Hell, I have a Ren and
Cartoons
Stimpy.
appeal to everybody.
Yeah, I have a Ren and Stimpy box set upstairs.
Awesome.
I loved him back in the day. That was the best.
Me too. That is
So
not a kid-friendly show.
it is not a kid-friendly show, but I bet somebody would interpret it as such because it's not live action and it's
Of course they
cartoon
would.
characters. That's why people are freaking
Just
out
like The
about this.
Simpsons and Family Guy,
Yep.
none of those are kid-friendly.
And yeah, and none of that content's safe. So, Gana, before I bring up my next guest, I got to know, and I know it's early, but what do you think you're going to do? Do you have any idea?
I'm not going to stop. I
Not gonna
may
stop?
switch over to a different platform. I mean, hopefully, I may have to change things a little bit, but at this point, I just want to keep making stuff and sharing it.
Good. I hope you do,
Yeah.
because I like your stuff, and of course I love when you come on the show, and you got to come on again and show me that coffee cup.
I absolutely will. I can't believe I forgot it tonight. I had it set out and everything. I was ready to go. I obviously was not.
Well, I came on 25 minutes early, so it's one of those nights. Don't worry about it. Well, I'm going to wish you the best of luck. You have it tougher than I do. I hope it doesn't alter, what you want to do, and that's what really bugs me, is because this is getting into what people really want to do, and when they know it doesn't harm anyone else. So,
Yeah.
I certainly hope you get to do that, what you want to do.
I do too.
All right, again.
I'm going to keep going, though. I don't care. I'm going to keep going. Thank
Good.
you so much, Jim.
Oh, pleasure is entirely mine. You have a good evening, hon. And
have a good night. I'll jump back into chat.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see, hon.
Bye-bye.
Oops. Silly me. Okay. No, didn't work. Okay, let's try this. Oh, man, I think I'm locked up over here. Well, you're stuck with me. Seriously.
Oh, no.
I can't do, I can do nothing. Okay, let's try this. See you again.
Bye.
Nope, I'm still locked up.
Oh my gosh. I will
Yeah.
see what maybe I can.
Totally locked up. I
We
can't.
can just be friends forever.
I can try to take it that way. Oh, there we go.
Indiana and
Okay.
Jim.
Okay. It looks like it freed up.
Bye,
All right.
Jim.
All right. We'll see you. I really feel bad for, especially for those people who are creating content like that is even closer to being interpreted as targeted to children. And that's what this is all about. It's got me thinking. It's got me thinking a lot about my direction and what I might do. So Christy says, did you happen to see the rest of YouTube's message? Wasn't there something about taking away notification bells? I did see that. Yeah. Oh yeah. You get no notifications. You're not on the recommended. You cannot save videos to watch later if you're that on that account. No super chats. And this is all if you're determined to have content that targets children. So, all right, I tell you what, let's bring up our next guest, shall we? Oh, and I thought I had. Dang it. Let's see. Nope, I don't. Well, I'll just have to type it in then. Okay. There we go. Wait for him to get his mic going there, and we will. Scott, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the show again, man.
How you doing, Jim?
I've been better.
So, listen, I don't have any kind of, obviously, I'm not doing like kid material at all in the stuff that I'm doing, but I think for me, the thing that this really boils down to is that YouTube has a very, I think they've got a problem because they're trying to change the platform and take it away from what made it a successful platform. Now, I know that doesn't necessarily matter in the kid stuff, but creators are what made YouTube what it is, right?
Yep.
And now you see, I think they've tried, but not super successfully. I know that they do have a lot of subscribers, but like you've got people like Will Smith and some of those people that are doing stuff on YouTube, and they do have a lot of subscribers. But um, especially when you see in like news and stuff like that, the way they're killing creators that are on their own, they're not part of a news organization. I think that YouTube is just really trying to take this thing to a place that is so contrary to what they started out as. The creators made them who they are, right? And I realize with the kid thing, there's a lot of variables that go into it, and there are tons of people that have abused the platform to try and get kids interested in things that they shouldn't be interested in, to groom them and all sorts of stuff. So I get that. But I think just YouTube has a huge problem right now with deciding what are they? Are they are they like a place where people can put up anything they want? We know that's not true. And the reason that I ended up wanting to call in is because the hate speech thing or the hateful content, that is so they can take that in so many directions. I mean, there's no end to what they could say is considered hateful content. And what it really boils down to is if you don't agree with the things that they agree with politically or whatever the case may be, that's hateful content. And that, how can you consider this to be like a free platform for people to express ideas and create things? I don't know how you can do that when you start to put these things in place.
Yeah, you can't, and that was actually the reason I brought that up, is because it's one, it's unbelievably ambiguous, and it's been applied subjectively, right? So in other words,
Yeah.
someone, whatever they thought, uh, and was it you that mentioned Patreon being?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, which is why I have nothing to do with Patreon. I'm all Subscribestar because they won't judge you or your content.
Yeah.
And not only that, but their cut is smaller than Patreon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole you can literally be taken down for anything that doesn't agree with whomever is judging.
Yeah.
And that just drives me crazy. That's been many a rant of mine on
Yeah.
this show.
And for good reason, Jim, because it's like, I think people that live in America, we think that we have the freedom to speak and say the things that we want to say. But now what's happening is these companies are being people are saying to these companies, hey, we're going to boycott your company unless you do something about this person. We don't like what they say. And cancel culture has made it so that now there are people, I mean, you can find stories about people that have a different view than the mainstream or something, that like large banks won't let people keep their money in a bank.
Oh yeah.
Patreon did that with people too. They went through and they just found people they didn't agree with, and they just said, you're not allowed to be on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
And the argument that always comes up is, well, they're a private company, they can do whatever they want. Well, I mean, to a certain extent, I agree with that. But at the same time, if there's you look at the people that are being targeted for this and you start to say, okay, wait a minute. You say this for one person, but you don't say it for another person who's got content that would be, offensive to people. It just depends on who you are and if you fit in with what that side believes, I guess. That's the thing that bothers me so much about it is like, I just feel like everybody should be able to say whatever they want to say within reason. Obviously, you don't want to create uh, a situation where you want violence against another person or something like that. But at the same time, look, man, we're all adults. The people that are watching this stuff, we can make up our own minds. We don't need to be babysat by YouTube or Google or whoever it is.
The
I think
government.
that's the big problem. Yeah, the government
Hmm.
overall, exactly.
I totally agree with you, man. I absolutely unequivocally agree with that. I've always said, and I've said this a long time ago, it's like our free speech should extend all the way to the point of inciting violence, right?
Yeah,
You want people to express their hate for other groups because that sheds sunlight on them.
yeah,
The moment this cancel culture or censorship culture starts knocking those down is the moment it goes underground, festers, grows, and becomes ugly.
yeah,
Why they don't see that is way beyond me. I
yeah.
just I can't even fathom that mindset.
Yeah, and we've seen that I think more than ever in the last 3.5 years or however long it's been. But just to see that there are groups that probably never would have gotten any kind of uh, publication, or nobody would even know these people exist if it weren't for people saying, "Hey, these people are hateful. These people are hateful. These people are hateful. We want to get rid of them."
Hmm.
Um, I don't think it wouldn't be something it's so minuscule is what I'm saying. Is there's hardly these people that people are afraid of. They're so minuscule compared to the country as a whole. It's
Hmm.
like, what are we doing, man? We're just creating more people that are going to be mad and hateful about that stuff, and they're going to be driven to these people that are like, see, they're doing exactly what I said they were going to do, right? And that's the thing that I think is so dangerous.
It is. It's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
And when you start calling out those people who literally have no, they don't even have a foot on the public square. You've
yeah,
suddenly given them that,
yeah,
and
for sure.
you expose them. Ironically, you expose them to the same type of people that may not be right upstairs and are going to head that direction, when otherwise they might have lived normal productive lives. But
Yeah.
and
And
like I said, it goes back to what I was saying before. I can't wrap my head around that mindset. How you don't think that through to its logical conclusion.
yeah, I think we're just at a point now where it's like if someone doesn't agree with what you think, you just have to silence them completely. Um,
Yeah.
I think in the case of this kid thing, though, I get this is the danger is when you hear this, you go, oh, sure, we want to protect the children, right? I mean, no sane person would say, no, don't worry about that. That's not a big deal. No, all of us think that's a big deal. We don't want that to happen to kids. We think it's disgusting.
Mhm.
Um, but they use these things and they play on people's emotions to say, yeah, that is right. We want you to rule over us. Don't let us do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they want you to they play on your emotions so that you invite them to be the nanny state, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And again, that's another mindset I just can't wrap my head around. How anyone would ask an authoritative body to make decisions for them.
Right.
We're like you said before, we're all adults. We're all free, rational adults who can think for ourselves, or most of us are. We are supposed to be helping our government do what we want them to do, not have our government tell us what to do.
For sure.
Um,
Yeah. And
one,
I mean, I hate to say it, but that's lost. I mean, we're at the point now where I don't think that's even, I don't want to be a doomsday.
oh, that
But
was a bomb, dude. I'm like, fuck. No,
you
say
know what
that ain't so.
I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to like say that it's impossible to bring things back to the way they should be, but man, it's hard. Those people that live in that dirty, dirty place in Washington D.C., they make a lot of money, man, and it's very hard to get them to let go of that money. And I think you're looking at the same kind of stuff with Google and YouTube. I mean, these people are making bazillions of dollars,
Yep.
and it's going to be very hard when they see something that they think, hey, we can control this a little more, or whatever the case may be. I think that they're going to always do that.
Hmm.
I think there's nothing wrong with people making money, but there's also this thing where it's like once they start to decide what you can and can't do, that's a big problem.
Huge problem. Huge problem. I like to think that all is not lost, though, Scott. I mean,
I know.
what are they saying? They're saying that, well, is the next one Gen Z? Is that right? Is that the next gen coming up,
Yeah,
generation?
I think so.
Yeah, they say that they're arguably more freedom loving than the last two generations before them.
Okay.
That bodes well for the future if that's true. I don't have any way to confirm that or deny it, but
Right.
I hope that that is true. And I don't know, you haven't watched, you haven't been a part of the show for very long, but I've had a lot of young kids come on and tell me pretty much that same thing without actually saying it. Right? I've just
Yeah. Yeah.
gleaned it from talking to them for a while, which gives me hope, man. And
Yeah, I guess the thing that I'm kind of mad at myself for even just now realizing that I let this kind of influence me, but the stuff that you see on television, they tell you these things and you just think, man, we're lost. I mean, we're lost. You hear so tip of the day, don't watch the news.
you heard it here first, folks, and he is absolutely right. If you are a news junkie, get it from several sources. Don't
Yeah,
find yourself in a bubble. The moment you think
right.
you're not in a bubble, you probably are.
Yep.
Get outside of it. Watch what you think is the opposition for a while, if nothing else.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Hey guys, it's Jesse. How you doing? That's a cool name. Welcome to the show, Scully's House of Thrillers. How you doing? Yeah, so I can't hold on to that doom and gloom, Scott. I have to believe that one, we still have the Constitution.
Yep.
It's still there. We've got a lot of people fighting for it. Well, the tide will turn. You know how the pendulum goes, right? It
Yep.
swings all the time. We're in a really, really bad spot right now, but I have to hold on to hope that that it'll swing the other way. That's one of the reasons I remain on YouTube, even though I'm vocally, or I'm adamantly, what am I trying to say here, Jim? I am very outspoken about how much this needs to change.
Yeah.
But I'm still
I
here.
agree.
Yeah, I'm still here because I think it will, or I hope it will. But if I leave, then I haven't done my part, or is anything close to helping it move in that direction. So that's why I
Right.
stay here.
Right.
Um,
I agree with you. I think that's the thing is like again, sometimes I just see things and I read things and I just go, "Oh man, we're so screwed." But you're right. And being here and even if, eventually maybe our voices are silenced somehow by YouTube, at least we tried, you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's where I'm at, man. That's exactly where I'm at. And I would even stop there. I mean, yeah, somebody said earlier in the chat that it's going to hit all the social medias, and I'm sure it will. Before
Yeah.
it's going to get darker before the dawn.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But it's incumbent upon all of us freedom lovers,
Yep.
rational adult freedom lovers, to carry that torch on every piece of social media we can until they all go out. And
Yeah.
that if I'm off YouTube, I'm going somewhere else. I'm going to try to keep that torch lit, man. I hope most
Yeah.
of these guys will too.
And I would say too, like even social media, I would just keep in mind that a lot of social media, what you think might be like the majority of people is not the majority at all. I would just say that's not like I just think about Twitter and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I read everything on Twitter and just was kind of like, oh no, you would think that nobody believed the things that you believe. So just be mindful of the fact that social media is the same way. It's really weighted in one direction is
It
all
is.
I'll say.
It is.
Yeah.
No, totally agree. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't still voice our opinion.
No, not at all.
I've dumped not dumped, but I've been away from my other account for so long it's not even funny. But that's what I was doing. right? I was injecting my opinion on just about everything I could. 90% of them was political. But I got away from that because you have a tendency to fall into the asshole mode after a while. You get beat up
Yeah.
with so many
No,
the same
I
arguments.
understand.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Got to take a break every once in a while.
Yep. Well, Jim, man, thanks for letting me come in and kind of say my piece. I appreciate it.
Well, no, I appreciate you coming on to say your piece, man. I love hearing because you came in with gloom and doom, but I think you realized it as you were going along that it's not. It could be better than it looks, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the important part.
Yep.
And nothing else. I'm sure there's other people out there that will see it the same way. I know I do because I always think that way, but I hadn't thought about it with this subject. So you've helped me as well, dude.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much. Same to you. And again, I appreciate it, Scott. You're always welcome here, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. You have a good night.
You too. Well, folks, I know that I've still got that up. I should kill it. That's going to be my final guess for tonight. Love having Scotty on. Scotty and I could probably talk about this for hours, as I could with most of you. You guys had a lot of great things to talk about in the chat. This is another one where I'm going to go back and read a lot of these. Oh, hello, Jesse. How you doing? Jesse's is Miss Kathy's daughter. Cool. Very cool. Sorry, Mr. Brandon, but maybe next time, bud. So listen, guys, make sure you make your declaration whether or not you are a content creator that targets kids content. I think that's step one. If you feel the need to, and I still have yet to think this entirely through, I don't like making rash decisions. But if you feel the need to age restrict your content, I think that's another layer of protection. Don't choose that you, don't specify that you don't create children's content and then actually create kids content. I think that makes you a target. If you do anything at all, make sure it's of value to your audience. If you don't, then you too are a target, at least for the terms of service when it says they'll eliminate channels that are not commercially viable, another air quotes thing. Sorry. Thanks, Darian. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. What else did I want to say about this? Be careful. Don't limit yourself to one platform. Number one, even if you're just uploading to two. I happen to like DLive. I also like BitChute, but BitChute doesn't allow me to go live, so I don't use BitChute that often. Although most of my videos are on BitChute because I've got them automatically thrown in there, which is nice. But they purport not to judge you or your content, which is exactly the type of platforms I expect to pop up during this sort of melee. Watchman Reviews, how are you? Good to see you. I think that anything geared towards protecting kids online is a good thing. I think there's big overreaction happening at the moment. That's exactly right. Watchman, that's perfectly stated. Thank you so much for that. You're welcome, Chrissy. I was glad to do it. I wish it was clear, but it can't be. You can't be clear about unclear rules. Outside of saying that they are unclear. And we all need to go into this knowing that the rules and regulations are not clear. So all you can do is protect yourself. Don't expect someone else to protect you. Take matters into your own hands. And listen, be careful out there. That's going to do it for tonight's show. I will be back Sunday night for the call-in panel, hopefully. I got some things to think about. For those of you who are just here for the first time, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and share this out if you feel so inclined. I really appreciate that. Tonight, though, it's going to be the end for me. I want to thank everybody, all my guests. Again, sorry, Brandon. I want to thank all you guys in the chat. You guys had some fantastic conversations that I can't wait to go back through and I'll try to answer them in the comments. By the way, if you're watching this later, let me know in the comments what you think about this whole COPPA and the change to the terms of service. I'd be interested to continue this conversation down below. But until then, make sure that you treat others. And this goes to YouTube. This goes to big tech. This goes to the government. Treat others the way you want others to treat you. If we all did that, we wouldn't be having these discussions. Thanks again, folks, and we'll see you live.